Okay, so Lizzy, how was your TRE session today?
Oh, that was, it was such, it feels like such a relief. I think I've said this to you before. I think TRE is like a drink
Yeah,
for your nervous system. It feels like your whole nervous system has a big drink.
such a good way of describing it.
And you feel, like I was saying through it, you feel lighter, you feel like rejuvenated. That you have and it will be ongoing now. So for the next week or so, I'll feel.
So you feel the effects of TRE after it's
After,
over.
so I feel it for about another week. I really do.
How does that show up for you?
Do you know, it shows up like my mood is much better. Like my reactions are more, I don't want to say controlled, that's not the right word. My reactions to things are much more level. So for example, if somebody is very difficult at work, so my response to it is much more much more level. I don't get so wired up. I'm much more rational. Because I guess your nervous system is
you're down regulating your nervous system, and sometimes that you're just like peeling off that top layer of tension that you've been carrying around. And with that, we can just feel a bit more calm, a bit more in the body, maybe have a bit more space to respond as opposed to react.
like
that kind
exactly.
of thing.
Yeah. So there's space, I guess.
And you mentioned spaciousness when we were doing the practice. What's that like for you, like physically?
So that's like what is it? Spaciousness. So spaciousness, it feels like, what is that word? Spaciousness. It almost feels like, so for example, I kind of feel spaciousness, I'd say, in my gut area, womb area. And it's almost like that tension that maybe you hold without even knowing just melts, like dissolves.
Leaving space.
Leaving space.
Yeah. More like a dissolving of something energetic or some kind of tension.
Yeah, exactly.
And you notice the absence.
And then the absence of it. And then there's like this like this relief. So like the integration at the end there, I was saying to you, it's like you feel like your body is almost bubbling, but at a really gentle level. Like it's really.
And does the practice feel quite gentle to you? Because what you're describing, they're quite big, profound shifts.
Yeah.
But does the actual practice feel
very
gentle to you?
Very gentle. Yeah. So it's, do you know, for me, what it is, it's the perfect blend of a sort of meditative practice, but with a really beautiful, gentle movement that then has this end result of like harmony. It's like the two together.
Yeah.
So it's like meditative and gentle, but with movement.
Because you're a meditator.
I'm a big meditator.
So how do you think this complements your meditation practice?
So I think you said it before. I think I was always of the belief that like absolute stillness and meditation is the way the nervous system regulates itself, but actually the movement is really important for the regulation. So actually the two together, because I think when you think of movement, you always immediately go to like dance in your head or like
exercise,
really big exercise. Yeah. So when you hear movement, I think your brain goes, oh, this is going to be like hardcore exercise, but actually it's like the perfect blend of just enough movement to like open the body and the energy channels and everything. So for me, it's actually the reason why I love it so much is because it's both together.
It's a very mindful practice,
very good,
but at the same time it's not that serious.
No.
We can chat while you're doing it.
Through it.
You can laugh. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to focus on. I don't know if you find this, but you don't have to focus on making it happen because it's just going to happen anyway.
Exactly.
Which leaves you free to just be.
Completely. And actually, you laugh like you might be like, oh, my tushy's going.
Yeah.
My tushy's going. But like you say, it's just going.
Yeah.
You're not in control of it.
Yeah.
You're just letting the body go.
Yeah.
And then what I find really interesting is, so for the first release, it was huge. This massive, like, this massive release. And then the next release was like, almost like little ripples and waves, like a shoreline coming in and out. Like, So it's amazing then the rhythms that you're in your body. Yeah. And it, like you say, it isn't fully serious. There's a real like joy and release to it. Yeah. And I think what's really nice is you're always checking, which I think is really lovely. Where are you? How are you?
Yeah. A big part of TRE is reconnecting with ourselves. It's actually meeting ourselves in our body, which can be so rare because when we go through stress, we're right up in our head, we're overthinking, we're doing all of that. So it's actually a really gentle way to land back in the body, but it doesn't put so much pressure on it. Yeah. It's not just being in stillness and meeting sensation. There's a lot of movement, it's dynamic, it can be really weird and funny. So for me, that's a massive part of the practice. Is also the way we engage, and you're in that social connection nervous system state, which again is helping you to regulate. It's helping you. It's teaching your system safety. It's not just bringing you into regulation for one session and then you go home. It's actually teaching your body that it's okay. It's okay to be present. It's okay to be safe. And at the same time, like discharging all of that stored survival stress and that tension that you've been carrying around. So it's doing so many things at once. But I don't know how you feel about this, but for me, it's also such a simple practice. Really basic.
So basic.
Like what you're actually doing is very simple.
Really simple. That's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's the simplicity.
Yeah.
It's not an overthinking practice because it's really practical.
Yeah. What's happening under the surface is a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
So you've had a few sessions with me now. So I'm curious about how has your journey progressed with TRE, or how was the session today maybe different from the first session that you did?
The first session I was quite nervous. When I think back, I think I was a bit unsure. I think I was like, I'm not sure what's going to happen. And also it's so interesting, the journey of it, because that first session I was really traumatized. Well, I was in the thick of grief and trauma. And I wasn't in my body at all at that point. I don't think I wasn't listening. I was just in that sort of like blind panic. Whereas now it's really lovely. It's almost like the body is reassured. So it knows so from the get-go, as soon as I was in the, you said from the butt vibration, it was off.
Yeah, you goes, straight away this time.
Yeah. Rather than the uncertainty. I know.
Yeah.
I know what to do.
Yeah.
I've got it. But I feel, because I've been doing TRE now, a year with you?
Yeah. Yeah, something like that.
That it has played a massive part, if not the part really, of releasing, unwinding all the stress in my nervous system, for sure. Massive part. Because it, like I say, it goes on. So now for the next week or so I'll monitor, but it literally just continues. Which is amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah. A very unique practice in that way. I think that it does keep on the gift that keeps on giving.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Amazing.
And I think for today, with our incredibly busy lives that we all lead, and the need for mindful practice but movement, it is like a beautiful practice for that.
Yeah, it's very unique in that way.
Really unique.
Yeah. And that speaks to, I think, the safety element of nervous system work, because when you were saying the first time you were really nervous, and today you can tell that your body, because it's a pathway that we're activating in TRE, that pathway now feels safe and familiar in your system, which is why you started tremoring very quickly today. And I think maybe there's less resistance when you feel more comfortable with it. You know it's not going to hurt you. You know it's not going to take you out of your window of tolerance, because we've done it so many times. Hopefully you trust me and feel safe in my space.
I trust her.
So all of that together is showing up in your system, because it's so much more responsive to the practice, which is, I think, really cool. It speaks for itself, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And I honestly cannot recommend it enough to people. I really do. I was telling my brother, who is trained to be a clinical psychologist, about it, and he was fascinated. He was like, "Oh, never heard of it before. What is this? What is this?"
I'll send him for a session.
Bernard's coming for a session. But yeah, I think I just hope more and more people learn about it and do it.